So you've done it. You've fine-tuned your language model, the evals look amazing, and it's basically a genius in the lab. But now what? How do you actually get it out there into the real world? Today, we're breaking down how to take that perfect prototype and turn it into a production-ready service that can handle all the chaos life is going to throw at it.
Okay, to really get a handle on this, let's start with a perfect metaphor. Deploying a language model is a lot like opening a restaurant. See, it's not just about having one great recipe. It's about being able to run the entire kitchen during a completely chaotic dinner rush. In the test kitchen, your development environment, everything is perfect. It's totally controlled. Your model is an absolute masterpiece. But production? That's opening night. You're getting slammed with orders, the GPU memory is starting to run low, and users are sending you curveballs you never, ever saw coming. The model itself hasn't changed, but the system you build around it is what will decide if you succeed or fail.
And that right there brings us to a really crucial mindset shift. You have to stop thinking like you're just ordering food and start thinking like you're the one responsible for the entire restaurant. When you're just using a managed API from a provider like OpenAI or Anthropic, it's like ordering takeout. They handle all the messy kitchen stuff, like grouping requests efficiently, stopping memory crashes, and keeping the servers warm. But the moment you self-host your own fine-tuned model, all that responsibility, it lands right on your plate.
And this is exactly why that shift in responsibility is so critical. You've trained your model to be a specialist, right? A gourmet chef. But that also means it's more, it's brittle. A tiny, tiny change in how a prompt is prepared can completely ruin the output, just like using the wrong ingredient can wreck a really complex dish. All right, let's get practical. We're going to walk through a playbook of 8 essential practices that will help you turn a model checkpoint into a robust, resilient system that's actually ready for production. Yep, 8 of them. Think of these as your foundation. They are the core rules that are going to keep your kitchen running smoothly, even when things start to get really hectic. So, let's dive in. First 2 are all about stability and making things predictable. First, you pin your entire software stack. You lock in the exact versions of every single library. That way, your environment never changes out from under you. And second, you lock the model's generation parameters. Live traffic is not the place to let users start experimenting with creative settings that can cause who knows what to happen. Next up, organize your house. Seriously, you need to separate the things that change often, like your prompts, from the things that basically never change, like those massive model weights. This structure means you can fix a simple typo in a prompt without having to take down and reload a 50-gigabyte model. That is a huge operational win.
Think of this one as the bouncer at the door of your club. You have to build a validation layer that checks every single request that comes in. If a prompt is way too long or just looks wrong, you reject it, right then and there. This protects your model from these expensive, time-sucking requests that could slow the whole system down for everybody else. When it comes to observability, listen, you don't need to track a million things. Just focus on what the source material calls the kitchen fire manifest. These 5 signals tell you everything you need to know about the health of your service. Is it fast? Is it stable? Is it getting too expensive? This is your dashboard to know if everything is okay or if a fire is about to break out. Now, this is where things get really interesting, because the entire cost model just flips on its head when you self-host. With an API, you pay per token. It's like ordering a la carte. But with your own GPU, you're paying for it by the hour, whether you're using it or not. You're basically renting the entire kitchen. And this chart shows you exactly why that matters so much. If you've got high, steady traffic, your cost per request can actually be way lower than an API. But if your traffic is sporadic, oof, that idle GPU is just burning cash. You are paying rent on an empty restaurant, and that makes every single request incredibly expensive. Utilization is everything here. So how do you roll out a new model without risking total disaster? You do it gradually. You never, ever go from 0 to 100% traffic all at once. You start in a staging environment to test it internally. Then, you shadow real traffic silently to see how it holds up without affecting any users. Next, a canary release, where you send a tiny percentage of real users to the new model. And only when you're absolutely confident it's stable do you make the full cutover. Okay, for our final essential, operational resilience. It all comes down to understanding the answer to this one simple but absolutely vital question. Just because a server is running doesn't mean the model inside it is actually ready to do any work. And that's exactly why you need 2 different types of health checks. A liveness probe just pings the server to see if it's alive. Hey, are you there? But a readiness probe actually does a quick test generation to confirm the model is loaded and ready to cook. Confusing these two is a classic mistake, and it can cause your system to kill a server while the model is still loading up.
Following these 8 rules is going to be your best defense against disaster, because they help you avoid the most common and predictable ways deployments fail. Let's take a look at what those traps actually are.
Most failures aren't caused by some wild, exotic event nobody could have seen coming. They're usually the result of pretty simple mistakes. Not setting resource limits, making untracked changes to prompts, not testing for messy user inputs, or just not having the logs you need to figure out what the heck went wrong. These are the self-inflicted wounds of deployment.
This brings us to the ultimate goal of building a production-ready system, and honestly, it might not be what you think it is.
The point of all of this discipline, it's not to build a perfect system that never breaks. That's a fantasy. The real goal is to build a system that breaks in a manageable, understandable way. A system that gives you the tools, the versions, the logs, the boundaries to diagnose and fix issues quickly when they inevitably happen. Ultimately, getting your fine-tuned model into production isn't just a technical challenge, it's an operational one. The question isn't just about whether your recipes are good, it's about whether your entire kitchen is ready for service. This kind of discipline is what lets you not only survive opening night, but keep serving your customers for the 100 nights that are sure to follow.